I have some cool news. So, about yesterday, I got ARMS. And I finally got to play ARMS, and it's actually really fun and cool and all that. Um, the gameplay is interesting. It's a lot more based on movement rather than just punching. If anything, I feel like dodging and moving in the air is more ARMS focused than the punching. Like, you need to go in the air, then find an opening, and then punch. Like, the punch is just the, I don't know, what you're building up to, you know? So I got ARMS, it's cool. I think I'm gonna main Min Min. I like her playstyle the most. I'm trying to play every character and, you know, get them through the Grand Prix and all that. And it got me thinking back to the ARMS debut video and how it showed the people with the Joy-Cons using them as like the Wii remotes and using them with motion controls, and how motion controls has a really bad stigma to it, and I can understand to an extent, but at the same time I don't fully agree. I'm actually in defense of motion controls and I like them, and here's why. A lot of people seem to forget that not everyone plays video games and not everyone knows how to play video games. That's where the motion controls come in. Instead of having to worry about button inputs and playing with the controller and pressing the buttons a specific way to trigger a certain action, you just wave your arm and the action is performed that way. For example, I'm not going to say who, but I remember playing Super Mario 3D World, that was it, on my Wii U with a family member, and I could simple button input, forward A, down A, and I could do that easily, but my family member could not do it. They had a hard time with the button input. Something that simple that I could do automatically, they couldn't do it because, again, they're not used to the technology. They didn't grow up with video games. They didn't play video games. That technology did not exist at all when they were kids. Fast forward to the 80s and 90s, and now some video games finally debut as a form of entertainment. So, not everyone knows how to use the button inputs for games for the controllers. So, that's why motion controls help bridge that gap between people who know how to play video games and people who don't, so families can come together and just enjoy playing a video game. That was the whole point of the Wii, so anyone can play a video game. And that's how it should be. There's this really stupid elitist mindset a lot of people have now with video games. Oh, if you don't know how to play a specific way, you can't play video games, or you can't play this game. I've seen that especially with Super Smash Brothers and that community, and how almost everybody in that community is an idiot and they act like stupid little kids. And if you don't reach their standards of how you should play Smash, then I've seen comments like, oh, you should stop playing Smash, or you should never play this game again, to random ass strangers, and I just think this is stupid. Who are you to tell someone what they can do or what they can't do? You don't control anyone's life. You don't control how people play video games. You don't control how someone spends their time. Video games are just that. Games. Video game. It's a game. Stop taking it so freaking seriously. It's stupid. Stop being stupid. It's not a big deal. People can play Smash Bros. Wherever they want. People can play video games wherever they want. Motion controls are not that bad. Now, do I understand the stigma to an extent? Yes. I was there. I was there during the early years of the Wii, where almost every Wii game had you wiggling your arm, and it was dumb. I think one of the best examples of that is the Rayman Raving Rabbids party games and freaking Sonic and the Secret Rings. That game was so frustrating. It was literally one of the only games I've ever rage quit and then sold the game. Like, that's it. I can't take this anymore. I don't want to play this anymore. That's how bad that game was for me. And Sonic and the Secret Rings was all motion control. Sonic would move on its own, and you would have to hold the remote horizontally, like you're playing an old like NES controller, and then you have to like move, like thrust the remote forward for Sonic to do a homing attack, or tilt the remote left and right for him to move left and right. It was just stupid. It was stupid. And then the freaking Raving Rabbids, they had similar controls, not like that, but you'd have to like hold the remote and the nunchuck in both hands, and then shake them really fast, left and right, over and over and over and over, and that's how you make a character run, and, you know, things like that. I mean, I personally didn't mind the Raving Rabbids games. I thought they were fine, but Sonic, that was dumb. That was terrible. Some people, I disagree, but some people don't like the Wii motion control for Twilight Princess on the Wii. I thought they were good. Like, they were just, it was kind of like No More Heroes. Like, I think this is a good example of good motion control, where the motion control is done to just simply emphasize the movement that a character is doing on screen. Like, to do Link's forward stab, you would then make the remote, you know, you would do a stabbing motion forward, which would be remote, and then Link would do that stabbing motion. Or to make him do like a horizontal slash, you would then make Link, you know, do that by slashing to the left or to the right. And almost the exact same motion control is done in No More Heroes. In fact, with No More Heroes, it's even more in depth. You have to hold the remote slightly upward or downward to make Travis touchdown go into a high stance or low stance. And then as you have it in that position, you then swing the remote left and right to make Travis do, you know, horizontal slashes. But the characters can then block depending on your stance. If you're doing a high stance, they will then block the high stance. Or they block the low stance. The character will start blocking their lower area so you can't hit them there. If you do a low stance, they will then try to block the higher upper part of their body so you can't reach their upper area. So I feel like motion controls can be good. It just depends on how they're implemented. Sonic the Secret Rings was dumb. Raving Rabbids was okay, but I feel like some mini games are more stupid than others with the motion controls. And then you have good motion controls, like No More Heroes and Twilight Princess for the Wii. But now, ARMS, I don't know, it's hard to say. ARMS is just sort of weird with motion controls. I personally prefer ARMS with just a normal control scheme, just playing with a normal controller. I feel like that's actually easier to play ARMS versus the way they marketed it, the way they advertised it, the way it's on the freaking box. When you open it up, it shows even right there that you're intended to play with the Joy-Cons in both hands and what they call the thumbs up grip style of holding the controller. And I tried it, and I just don't feel comfortable with it. It feels weird. I prefer just moving the character with a control stick and moving like that and jumping like that with the buttons. It feels more, I don't know, stiff. Like, it feels, I don't know, weirder. It just feels, it feels harder to control with motion controls, and that's why I prefer ARMS with the normal control style. So basically this video is about how I like motion controls. I feel like they're good. I feel like they are good for bringing families together. I feel like they're good for letting everyone enjoy playing a video game, and that they're really not as bad as people say they are. It's just that there's this really negative stigma to motion controls because of the Wii. And I feel like they're really, really not that bad. Another good example of motion controls, I would say, is The Legend of Spyro: The Eternal Night. That one would just have you like move the remote left to attack enemies from the left, or move right to move enemies towards, attack enemies towards the right. And that was really it. I feel like motion controls, if done well, they just emphasize the movement of the character, and I see nothing wrong with that. I also like using the Wii Remote pointer to aim, like in Twilight Princess for the Wii, versus using a controller to aim. I just think that that's better. Anyway, I think you guys get the point. I think you guys get my view on this, and they're really not that bad, in my opinion. It's just a negative stigma, a negative stereotype to motion controls, and I think it's dumb that because of that stereotype that now everybody wants motion controls to die. I see more videos on people wanting it to die than supporting it, and I think that's just sad, because I feel like the Kinect had potential to be good. The Wii, it was a success, whether you like it or not, it was good. It was a success, and the Kinect wasn't. And I feel like the Kinect could have been good too. The technology just wasn't there. It didn't really work as good as it should have. But I feel like motion controls are good, and they really don't deserve as bad as a rep that they have. Anyway, this is Wittenfire going away, and I will see you all next time. Bye.